Good afternoon once again, everybody. On behalf of CueSports International, OB, and Kamui, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 22nd U.S. Bar Table Championships 10-ball division. Here at the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno, we're coming to you live from the Kamui Arena, and we have a great matchup for you right now between Skyler Woodward and Scott Frost. There are 4 players left undefeated. These are 2 of them. The other 2 are playing now on an outer table. That's Jeff Ignacio, who you just saw take down SVB, and he's playing Brian Deska, a name you may not be familiar with, but a player who certainly has the credentials and the game to be where he is. So I'm sure we may get an opportunity to see him before this is all said and done. I think there's 8 players still left on the one-loss side. They're also playing at this time, so approximately 12 guys left. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll be down to our final 2 at the end of play today, and that'll set us up for tomorrow's 10-ball final scheduled for 5:30 p.m. Pacific. So Scott won the leg, and here we go, rack number 1. This will be for the right to go play for the hot seat against either Deska or Ignacio. Now the 2-ball was going, but it got blocked by the 4. Skyler with a nice opportunity here to get underway. Skyler is from Paducah, Kentucky, bank capital of the USA, and he certainly is no stranger to the bank pool. Oh, he didn't want to bump that 3. That's going to add some difficulty to this rack. I believe he's playing the 10-ball. Yes, he has called the 10-ball. He's going to play a billiard. Did not like the 3. How do you hit that, folks? So I tied the 3 up with the 6, no problem. I'll just billiard the 10 in from 4 feet away. Skyler is also extremely accomplished at bar table rotation games. He snapped off the Smokin' Aces Bar Box 9-ball event this past year, and that's a pretty big scalp to take. He is also a formidable bar table 8-ball player, and he is the reigning BCA Pool League National Grandmaster 8-ball champion, and he'll be defending that title in July at the Rio. So let's see if he's got the break figured out here. He did in last time we saw him play on the TV table yesterday. Actually might have hit those a little bit too strong. Both of the second row balls went long on the side. Scott's hooked on the 1. With all that space up here, to back kick the 1 safe is going to be kind of tough. Not a lot to hide behind, not a lot to hide the 1 or the cue ball. His other choice would be to push this way and maybe tie up the deuce or tie something up, but I like pushing in this direction. He might be pushing just for a little jump shot here. Yeah, that's what he's doing. back kicking it, and called it in the lower right corner, just in case, as he said. But again, the problem here is if you don't hide the cue ball good, there's just so much open space up here for the one. He's got to get a rail. He did. He got a rail. And the one and cue ball wound up in the only place probably that Skyler would have a shot. Actually, it was a well-struck ball by Scotty. I think at best he can maybe just stick it right there. Oh, he can't get through. He's got to hop over. That's a foul. Anytime an object ball goes off the table, it's a foul. That ball will go down, and Scott will get ball in hand. And we've mentioned on a lot of occasions when there's an object ball near a rail, you do risk something going off the table like that because the cue ball's bouncing on contact. But nevertheless, Scott doesn't care how it happened. He's just glad to have ball in hand with a chance here to knot the match up and get back on serve. He took a look at the 4 ball before. I assume maybe he thought it will pass the 8 in the side. Might do something different now because of the angle on the 3. So let's see how he goes about it. Good stroke. Real good stroke there. So we're all tied up here at 1-1. Each guy has one on the other guy's break. And we want to remind everybody that Kamui is the official tip of the US Bar Table Championships. And OB is the official cue also of the USBTC. Once again, we want to express our appreciation to both of those great companies for their long-standing relationship with CSI and with this event. And we appreciate all that they do for professional pool. See if he takes a little off here. Makes a second row in the side. No, they still, both balls still went a little long. Seemed like about the same speed as his first break. I think he'll definitely have to adjust on the speed a little bit. Well, Skyler's got a wide open table. Everything has a pocket. just really wants to avoid running into anything with the cue ball here as he makes his way through the balls and doesn't take a ball that's already got a pocket and tie it up. Just about straight in here, so he's going to have to draw it back almost to about where it is. Well, I guess he had more angle than it appeared from where I'm sitting, so this will work fine. And he's not happy where he got. Yeah, 50-yard line. I think Scott's happy to just be getting his cue and walking to the table. I don't think he expected a turn this game. He's got no easy task here to hit this 6 ball, that's for sure. Yeah, he's got to go 2 rails under the 10, and he's got to really be careful here. There's a lot of potential for a scratch. Going to play at 2 rails and kind of hope it banks across and nestles under the 10. Well, Skyler made quick work of that after Scott's kick and Skyler's safety. And that was on Scott's break, so again, a big opportunity here for Skyler to consolidate that and extend his lead to 2 games if he can slide a bead over after this rack. What's the problem ball here is the 3 ball. I mean, it'd certainly go in the side past the 10, I think, but getting down there is not going to be all that simple. got to work all this out before you start to shoot. You know, you've got to know your plan, at least up to the 3 ball. He'd love to be straight in on the 3 in the pocket where he's standing. That's the angle he gave himself to kind of head at the 8 ball, 1 rail straight up. That's what he's having a look at now. The problem here is if he comes too short and can still make the 3, then he's got to deal with the cue ball hitting the 8. And as you can see, the 4 balls on the other side of the table. So still a big challenge here for Scott. Let's see how he handles it. It's the 10. It's going to help him. It's really not all that bad. The hard part of this shot is actually sighting it. You all know when you're this close to the ball and you've got to cut it, it's almost more feel than anything else. And the cue ball looks like it's got to barely miss the 6 if he can do that. It was a tough shot to hold for position. He's going to kick 2 rails behind the 3. His call was 9 in the side. Watch the cue ball, though. Straight is not where he wanted to be. Again, he's going to have to probably just take his cut on the 5. Maybe he can follow this up off the side rail, short rail, and lessen the angle on the 5. But this has to be smooth. He smoothed it. Nice shot. 3-1. You can see the panels around the arena there with our other 4 associate sponsors. Simonis, as always, and we're playing on 860 Tour Blue, the Magic Ball Rack. Diamond Billiard Products, and we're playing on a 7-foot diamond with Pro Cut 4.5-inch pockets and Cyclop pool balls. Scott, you want another Magic Rack?
Yeah. It's got a crook in it or something. A 1 and a 6.
Magic Rack wound up having a little crease in it, and after repeated blasting of the 1 ball, occasionally that will happen. And that was the issue, the 1 wouldn't freeze. Well, he hit those with a lot less speed, hit them nice and square, made a ball. Unfortunately, he can't make the 1 ball, I don't believe. Maybe he can. Sure looks like it the way he's going at it. He might twirl it in there. Yeah, that's what he did. A critical game here for Scott because Skyler's breaking in the next game. He can't afford to fall behind 4-1 and Skyler breaking. shot. That was a pressure out he had to come with right there, starting with the spinning the one ball in first, and then the 7 down the long rail was a nice shot. So he keeps his foot on the accelerator a little bit now and puts the pressure back on Skyler. He's a little jacked up here, and the 4 ball's next, so he may just hit this with just a soft high ball. Just come straight up, take the angle on the 4. You need the angle anyway to get across for the 5 or to get up there in the kitchen to play the 5 down the long corner. So I don't expect he'll do a whole lot here with the cue ball. Oh. Stubbed his toe. No pocket for the 1. Yeah. I'd go under the 5 here with the cue ball. Got the 8 for help. Maybe send the 1 kind of at the 4. The only thing you got to guard against here is accidentally making 1. Put all my effort here onto just putting the cue ball there under the 5-8. I know he's considering skimming the 1 on the left side as you look at it and then floating the cue ball up here behind the 10, but I don't like that. If you catch the 1 too fat, you're going to sell something out possibly. And maybe it's not easy to slide it over under the 5. Again, that's just from where I sit, and my angle's much different than his is. Perfect execution right there. He's forced Skyler into a jump shot. Well, maybe not. Maybe he can kick it rail first. I don't think so. Watch the bouncing ball again here, maybe. Be careful. Well thought out there. He played that. He definitely played that 4 rails. Was not trying to hit the 4. And this is the key shot of the game right here. Well, that was a big swing there. Instead of tied up, Scott finds himself trailing by 2 racks again, and he's going to have to win 1 on Skyler's break while continuing to win on his own break. Nothing too appealing about this leave. Just slide it under the 3 and use the 2 for the blocker. Oh, he let it out. God. I mean, that's kind of a rough miss there to lose that cue ball by that much. I mean, you're better off coming too short there because the 3 would block the 1. I don't know if Skyler can make it, but if Scott's certainly going to be underneath the 3 at a minimum here. This is the point in the match where you really need to maintain your composure and just deal with whatever comes at you. Can't get frustrated. Wants a little more length on the jump cue. Made real good contact on that ball too. He hit it nice and square. By his reaction, it would appear Skyler can make this. he's just clicking off games every time he goes to the table, it seems, and now it's getting to be a real serious situation for the Freezer. He's going to have to beat Skyler on Skyler's break at least twice. And then he's going to have to win on his own break 3 times. It's a pretty tough task for anybody. You really get punished for your mistakes on the small table here playing 10 ball. We saw a prime example of that last match where everybody's number 1 SVB. He couldn't handle the mistakes he made, and Ignacio made him pay every time. Wound up losing 7-4. The 5 is well off the cushion. It'll go in the side right where he's standing. So there's absolutely no issue here, especially with the 2, 3, 4 being all within a couple feet of each other. This is the only place something can go wrong, if anything could go wrong. Now, he may just stay right there for the 7. It's the 6, actually. But the 3-rail route here is too dangerous because of the 8 ball. He took great care to make sure he stayed well wide of it. To the hill goes Mr. Woodward. Straight back. Swish. Came a little too far to be able to cut this in the side. But he may have no choice but to try it. A great shot. I tell you, there was no pocket there from that angle. he's going to come back to the table at least. I'm sure he's pretty disgusted with that turn of events. Nice job with the cue ball, but as you could tell, the 5 ran into the other colors. Scott to 5-8. All right, 6-3, and you could pretty much tell that Scott was playing with the I don't care stroke there, those last 5 or 6 balls. And not saying that, of course, in our pool jargon, but I mean, obviously he does care, and he's trying to win, but he knows he hasn't played a good match. He knows Skyler is pretty much playing superbly. So, you know, you're not supposed to win from 6-2 down the way things are going, so he just can play loose. But I'll tell you what, if somehow he can steal this game and break and run and make it 6-5, I think you'll see that I don't care stroke change back to grinding it out. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. If he can get good on the 2, he's got a chance to just go ahead and play the 3-10 in the side. It's laying pretty well. Uh-oh. Got away with that. Now let's see what's going to happen on his break. 6-4. Always nice to get a quick, easy game on the other guy's break without having to work real hard for it. So actually, once Scott made the 1 ball and got that little bump to have shape on the 2, he was able to get that rack over with in 30 seconds. Come right back to the table now, feeling a little bit better about himself. He knows he's back in the match, at least from a score standpoint. And let's just see if he's back in the match mentally. He's going to bear down now. Took a lot off the break. The 3's going to go if it doesn't get kissed. Okay. Looks like every ball has a pocket. real issue is going to be 7 to the 8. Excuse me, and whether or not he has room there to play a 8-9 billiard on the side, because the 8 only has one pocket it can be made in, as you can tell. And getting about where the cue ball is now, off the 7. Unless he wants to bump it now. Uh-oh, uh-oh. He was lucky he didn't move that ball to a bad position. So now he's got to figure out what to do. Looks like he's going to go behind the 8 maybe and play it in the top left. That's 3 pretty quick games right there for Scott, from 6-2 to 6-5 in maybe 5 minutes. He had that 3-10, but I mean, he made awfully quick work of that out. So now the pressure's on Skyler, because Scott has the break. If it goes hill, this is the last time Skyler will break. He broke dry last time. Also is well aware of the fact that if he goes to his chair after this break shot, he may not get up again during the match. Okay, breaking for the match at 6-5, Skyler Woodward. Again. Look at that mess down there in the kitchen, will you? Well, he's got the whole World's Fair down there to hide the cue ball behind. Want him to have that. He wanted to be there, right? He wanted to take that side rail away from him, and now Skyler has at least a chance to hit this ball. He's called that he can even hit it maybe a little bit rough. It may glance in off the 2 as well. Yeah, it did go in off the deuce. Hooked. Watch out this doesn't follow in. Wow, what a shot. Ball's in a really funny, tough position, too. That ball didn't have to drop. Already thinking about the 9. dare try to draw into the 9 and move it? No, of course not. Nicely done by Skyler. A little fortunate there, but at the same time, he made a nice massé shot on the 2-ball. Got through the rest of them, has himself a 7-5 victory, and he is going to play for the right to go to the hot seat match. And we're next up at 4 o'clock, everybody, about 35 minutes from now, so stand by for that.